This is Pet Life Radio, the possumest pet party place on the planet.
That's a lot of bees, baby, isn't it? Yeah.
Get ready for some tail wagging, fur flying, feather flapping fun.
Oh, yeah.
PetLifeRadio.com.
Okay. And good morning, good afternoon. You're here live with Dr. Jeff Werber, and here for the next 30 minutes to talk to you about pets. Let's talk pets here on Pet Life Radio's Ask the Vets with Dr. Jeff. Firstly, I want to give a shout out to our wonderful producer, Mark Winter, who just had a birthday yesterday. Happy birthday, Mark. So, anyway, we're here for you. We're here for your pets. Easy to get a hold of us. The simplest way, which it's not my favorite, is call us 877-385-8882. Better yet, come on live. Just as I just logged on, Pet Life Radio's website.com. And then you go to Ask the Vets with Dr. Jeff under shows. And there's going to be a link where you can join us live. Google Hangouts. We get to see you. We get to see your pet. We get to talk. As I say this, and I'm going to say it again and again, get used to this kind of medicine. It's already happening in human side, and they're talking about that the telehealth, telemedicine, I call it teletriage, in the veterinary market is going to be huge. People want it. It's less expensive. Can often save you trips. It'll help you gauge through your emergencies. We're going to talk about this later. What is an emergency? How do you know? How do you tell? So anyway, it's a great opportunity to get used to practicing and talking to your veterinarian this way. And I love being the guinea pig. So just give me a call, pet on your lap, in your arms, sitting next to you, whatever the case may be, and ask away. And by having your camera, your phone right there, you can show me that lesion. You can show me that sore. You can show me that eye. You can show me the tooth, whatever it is. And we can talk pets. So in the news, a couple of things that caught my attention. Number one, it was kind of like, it's sad, but it's kind of funny at the same time. In Nevada, in Las Vegas, it's called the Department of Child and Family Services. Now, you get the impression that that's kind of a real cool place for kids, and I'm sure a lot of safety, right? You're thinking about Child and Family Services. Well, guess what? They have a bunch of rabbits, feral wild rabbits running around the premises, and they are leaving deposits on the lawn. And anyway, they're finding salmonella and tularemia. So just think you could be going to the safe haven of the Department of Child and Family Services and worry about, you don't want to touch these rabbits. You only want to be careful if you're on the grass where they are eliminating because of salmonella and tularemia. So if you happen to be in Nevada and you happen to need the Division of Child and Family Services, make sure to stay away from those wild bunnies. This cute story, remember that we talked about a number of weeks ago, probably a couple of months ago, about the bears, the two female bears that were burned in the Los Padres National Forest fires. And researchers and veterinarians, surgeons from the University of California at Davis went ahead and they actually used tilapia skin bandages. Apparently, obviously very thin, very lightweight, but very strong tilapia skin. And the bears would leave it alone. Anyway, P.S., and it's always good to have this kind of postscript, that the bears have been followed in the wild, and it's been several months, and they are both doing very well. So that's really, really cool. Another thing that I like to see, that the California's human shelters, like for the homeless shelters, had a pet policy, and they were testing this out to see, would it be okay if these homeless residents would be allowed to bring their pets. Well, since December, over 100 dogs and 8 cats have been going through these homeless shelters with very low incidence of fighting and whatever. And not only that there are veterinarians nearby towns and cities that have been doing spays and neuters and giving vaccines. So it's been quite the success, which is really good because, as we know, when we see these homeless, and I see it all the time, they want their handouts, but I'll give them pet food when I see them with the dog. And I have a couple that I actually treat for free. I see them around, and it's the best feeling in the world And they are so grateful, so thankful that you can care for the pets, because for many of them, that pet is the only thing they have of value. And I don't mean financial value. I mean physiologic and emotional value. So, you can do just a little from our end, and it means tons for them. And it's amazing how appreciative they are. So I'm really thrilled that program has been working and working very well. So this is interesting. And I want to say, as many of you have been listening to me, I have many pets, and two of my many, 11 at count, but two are French bulldogs. I'm a Frenchie nut. I see a day doesn't go by that I don't see at least 2 or 3 French bulldogs. And I got sort of the reputation because I am a Frenchie doc and I'm a Frenchie owner, or better yet, a Frenchie parent. That's how I look at it. And so I see tons of them. Anyway, I saw this. The British Veterinary Association has been they're urging greeting card manufacturers to stop using brachycephalic breeds on their cards, because they fear, or they think that it's going to increase their popularity because they are so cute, and they're worried about promoting the problems that we see in these brachycephalic breeds with the breathing issues, et cetera, et cetera. That's a tough one, because I see where they're kind of coming from, that maybe it is a good idea to it's like this. Think about this. And it's not really exactly the same, but every time 101 Dalmatians comes out, right? Dalmatians become super popular. I mean, in that movie, they are really, really cute, and people get Dalmatians. And then what happens is, once you see Dalmatians, they're not all as cute and behave as well as those little puppies and dogs do in the movie. So what happens? They bring them to shelters, and shelters and rescue groups will tell you all the time that the number of Dalmatians that they get increases like by truckloads after that movie, whenever it's aired or whether it's re-released or whatever it is. So, the issue is, what about these brachycephalic breeds? And I'm sure, no offense to some of the other brachycephalic breeds out there, but there's no doubt in my mind, there's not an advertiser on the planet that doesn't use or think in some of their ads French bulldogs. They happen to be really cute, and so I'm sure they're talking about the I mean, we have Boston Terriers, we have Pugs, we have the Shih Tzus and Lhasas, Pekingese, Japanese Chins. I mean, there are a lot of brachycephalic breeds out there, but the one that you see the most, for sure, is the Frenchie. And I see tons of them. And yes, do they have breathing issues? Yes. Have I ever had to put one to sleep because of it? No. Do I do a lot of stenotic nary surgeries and soft palate resections? Yes, including one of my 2 Frenchies needed. The other one didn't. But I don't think that. I mean, it's one thing when you get into wanting a breed and you're deciding with your family what breed you want. And you see these dogs that are so darn cute, and they're just the greatest little things. And you're not going to not get them, because you may underline the word may, need to do some surgical correction, which it's doable. And I mean, with laser, which is what I use, they do phenomenally well. So I don't know if I would go as far as to say don't use them on your greeting cards, because people are going to want to go out and buy one. They're going to want to buy them because they're so darn cute, and they're really, really great dogs. So anyway, just whatever you think, I'd be interested to know about that. If you have Frenchies, and especially this is a good way to judge this. If you have any of these breeds, French Bulldog, Pugs, Boston Terriers, Japanese Chins, Lhasas, Shih Tzus, any of those really, there's good. Even some of the pits that have pushed in faces. Some of the Mastiffs have, shorter snouts. Having one, maybe having had to treat one of these problems that we see, the respiratory issues, would you go? Think of the Persian cat. Look at this, the Persian cat. I mean, man has created the problems with the Persian cat, because why? We're breeding. I don't mean we, because I don't breed any animals, but they are being bred for that certain look. And when they see that's the goal. So, but the more pushed in we breed for that face, the more breathing difficulties they're going to have. So I don't think the issue of having it on a greeting card is the issue. I think it's the breeders are the issue. Breeders should be responsible. They should know if they have a certain trait that's being bred in and causing problems, they should stop using that male or that female for breeding. Unfortunately, they don't, because a lot of people like it. But I want to know how many of you that have some of these animals, if you had to do it over again, would not get one because you had so many hassles with the breeding. So that's what I want to hear. If you could certainly come and join us online, let me know what you think. Would you not have gotten this pet again because of your experiences that they were so bad that you didn't want to do it again? That would be a great question for you. Now, here's another thing before we go to break. And I want to talk about this because this is serious business. And I usually hear on the show when I'm going to mention names of foods, I'm going to do it, or names of anything, brands in general. It's going to be on the good side. But you know what? I think it's my responsibility as well to discuss the negatives when they do exist. And we are hearing, I'm sure you've been hearing too, there was a big story done on one of the ABC affiliates in the Northeast about at the beginning of the month, actually, about pentobarbital found in our pets' foods. Now, mind you, pentobarbital is used for pretty much one thing nowadays, and that is euthanasia. It is probably one of the more common, popular ingredients that are used, medicines, chemicals, drugs that are used in euthanasia solutions. Well, how the heck is it getting into our pet foods? And there have been some incriminating evidence, two brands in particular. There was a story, basically what happened around New Year's. A woman with, I think, 4 pugs maybe, and she opened a brand new can of Ebinger's food, and the dogs got very, very sick. One actually died. They started wobbling around. They couldn't keep their heads up. She rushed them all to the emergency. Clearly, the fact that it all happened after they all ate from the same food can, something had to be good. Which was she did save the can, sent it for evaluation, analysis, brought the dog that passed away into a clinical pathology lab for postmortem tissue testing. And what do you think? Pentobarbital. How did it get into their food? So some other Smucker's brands, like, and I'll read them: Gravy Train, Kibbles and Bits, Old Roy, which is the Walmart brand made by Smucker's, and Skippy canned foods, all had foods tested for the pentobarbital, especially the Gravy Train. So they Smucker's recalled all those other brands just to be safe. The only one that was actually where they found it was in the Gravy Train cans. So where is it coming from? And where it's coming from, very simply, when animals, because it's the number one agent used for euthanasia, and that's dogs, cats, horses, anything, any animal that is slaughtered that's going to be used for food or any kind of food product, it is against federal law to destroy those animals with pentobarbital because it gets into the muscle. So then these animals are rendered, and even get into bone, even rendering plants where they don't use the where they use the carcass, they break the carcass down. There are traces of pentobarbital in that tissue as well. So against federal law to use anything that they called adulterated foods into our food chain. But you know what? They do it anyway. It's law, but it's really not being monitored. There's nobody there testing the foods on a regular basis to see where are you getting these carcasses from. Are you using carcasses for pet foods that have been euthanized with pentobarbital? No one's there to watch. So what's happening is this stuff is getting into the foods and causing problems. Most of the time, just so you know, the levels are significantly low and not a problem for your pets. But as we heard of this story, sometimes it can be. Also depends on the size of the pet, how much they eat, etc. So you should be really keep an eye on those things right now. You will hear more about this, but just exercise caution. I don't think, unless you have food tested, there's no way to know. But they were showing on the Gravy Train how they use only the highest quality food, and it goes through rigorous testing. Well, somebody messed up on that test, don't you think? Anyway, don't go away. We'll be right back. We're going to talk a little bit about your expectations and etiquette if you are working with or for, or you are doing some rescue group work, rescuing animals, working with veterinarians, is that hits close to home for me. We'll be back after these short messages.
We'll be right back, right after these messages. Stay tuned.
Molly, here's your dinner. Zeus, that's not your food.
Don't let that happen to your precious cat. Elevate your cat's eating experience with the Cat Treat Tray. The Cat Treat Tray keeps your cat's food off the floor and conveniently located on the cat tree. It's the perfect way to eat. It's a beautiful wrought iron tray that easily attaches to your cat tree and keeps dogs and other critters out of your cat's dish. A must for multi-pet households. There's a 6-inch tray for large bowls and a 4-inch tray for smaller bowls. Cat Tree Tray today. Go right now to cattreetray.com. That's cattreetray.com. CATTRETRAY.
It's designerpetsweaters.com. Hand-knitted designer sweaters for your precious pup or cool cat. Beautiful couture patterns for your pets, including custom-knitted formal wear, casual wear, yachting, and even sports-themed. Many designer pet sweaters include feathered tammy hats, top hats, and a lot of sparkle. Each sweater includes leg loops, front paw sleeves, and leash opening. Visit designerpetsweaters.com to order your four-legged fashions today. Your pets will stay warm for the winter and be runway ready. Large or small, we fit them all. Designerpetsweaters.com.
Calling all pet product manufacturers. Save the date and join us for the 6th annual Retails and Sales Pet Expo coming up on Tuesday, May 1st, 2018 in New York City. The event is a place for pet product manufacturers to meet with buyers and media and groomers and pet influencers. To learn more about this B2B pet product trade show, please visit retailsandsalespetexpo.com. This event is brought to you by Whitegate PR, American Pet Professionals, and Pet Age Magazine.
Does your dog itch, scratch, stink, or shed like crazy? Come to Dinovite for help.
Order a 90-day supply of Dinovite.
Dinovite for life.
Pick up 2 tubes of Doggo Suds.
Get the 3rd tube free.
Peppermint, tea tree, lavender, Doggo Sud shampoo.
Made with all-natural coconut, jojoba, aloe. Great for healthy skin and soft, shiny coats.
But no itchy, harsh chemicals.
Lather up, rinse away.
Try Doggo Suds. Buy 2, get 1 free.
At Dinovite.com.
DINOVITE.com.
I love cleaning the litter box, said no one ever. Luckily, there's World's Best Cat Litter, the litter that promises less mess with less litter. Only World's Best Cat Litter uses the concentrated power of corn to quickly cut odors in tight clumps. And quick clumping means you never have to chisel or scrape the box. Less cleanup with less wasted litter? That's a litter bit amazing. Save $2 on World's Best Cat Litter. Visit www.saveonworldsbest.com.
If you've ever shared your home and heart with a charmingly naughty animal who's always up to mischief, you'll fall in love with the Klepto Kitty who stars in Talk to the Paw by Melinda Metz. Talk to the Paw is a funny, heartwarming novel about a single girl, a single guy, and MacGyver, an adorable tabby cat with a not-so-adorable habit of stealing from the neighbors. Talk to the Paw is on sale now everywhere books are sold. Visit kensingtonbooks.com for more info.
Begging to hear more of your favorite show? Full episodes of all our shows are available on demand. Go to PetLifeRadio.com to fetch our entire lineup of awesome pet podcasts. Also, dig us up in iHeartRadio and iTunes. Let's talk pets. Live and on demand only from Pet Life Radio. Let's talk pets.
Let's talk pets
On Pet Life Radio.
PetLifeRadio.com.
Okay. And welcome back. You're here live with Dr. Jeff Werber. Here, your host on Pet Life Radio's Ask the Vets with Dr. Jeff. And we what I wanted to talk about, and this is kind of sensitive, and it's like, it's one of those things where I don't want to rag on anybody in particular or any group, but it's something that seems more and more prevalent. And for those of you out there that do rescue work, and I would imagine that a lot of listeners on this show on who like to listen to Pet Life Radio, obviously like to get information, like to learn. Hopefully we can deliver that. But also there are many, I would sure all of you are animal lovers, and many of you have gotten into the world of rescue. As we like to say, often adopt, don't shop. And so, one of the things that I've noticed, and this is just as being a private practitioner, in Los Angeles area, and I'm sure this happens elsewhere, that there's a certain etiquette. If you're going to do rescue, you have to, I understand people that get into the rescue world have huge hearts, and they want to do everything for these animals. And they are obviously, many of them are pulling them out of kill shelters so they aren't being euthanized. Many are doing it just because they love a certain breed, so they get involved in breed rescues or a certain type of dog rescues. And there are many out there. I work with many of them, but I'm noticing that fewer and fewer of my colleagues are wanting to work with shelters, with rescue groups. And it's sort of, when I talk to many of them, it sort of caught my attention as to why is this? I mean, it's wonderful work. You get to feel great. I remember when I went on that trip to Peru a number of years ago, and it was with a group called Amazon Cares. And what we did were we would go into the jungle, we go into the Amazon, these small towns, we would capture many, many dogs and cats, strays. They're all over the place. They're in horrendous conditions. They look terribly, and they're in awful health. And we would capture them. We would spay. We would neuter. We would vaccinate. We would treat. We would medicate. Whatever we can do. I removed tumors. I sewed up lacerations. I mean, it was great, and all for free. I mean, we really wanted to do what's right for these animals. We wanted to try at least to give them a better life, try to educate the locals about the importance of spay neuter. We worked in conjunction with their local veterinarian, and it was a great program. So here we are in the United States, the best of the best, and we have wonderful people out there trying to do the best they can for pets, and yet there seems to be this discord, this lack of cooperation between veterinarian and these rescue groups. And I realize that the problem is it's not like we're coming from different ends of the spectrum. We're not. We love animals as well, clearly, or else we probably would not have gone into this field, work as hard as we do, give the time that we give. And when we compare what we do as far as the difficulty of getting into school, the smarts, if you will, that there are many other things we could be doing that would generate a lot more of an income for us. And yet we choose not to. We choose to do what we love. We have that passion. And from the rescue side, these groups clearly are passionate. But what you have to understand is, for those of us that work with rescues and do what we can to help, we couldn't do it unless we also were doing what we do on the regular client coming in day to day, that basically the work that we do for them and with them for those pets is helping us fund that which we do for the rescue groups. And I mean major discounts, free services. I mean, I never charge clients, the rescue groups, for my exams, office calls, things like that. All the things that we do, the surgeries are discounted. And what allows us to do that is what we do for everybody else, which is, normal fees, normal fee structuring, et cetera, et cetera. Yet what I find is that many of the rescue groups out there, many of you out there, and I hope I'm not talking to any of you, don't appreciate that which we get, in the sense that the rescue groups are coming in, they want service now. For example, I had a case, this is why I'm really talking about this today. It just hit me. One of my clients comes in late in the day with 2 dogs that she did call and said she was going to bring them by for spay, comes in late and wants them spayed today. Well, just so happens we had a large surgery load, including not 1, but 2 emergency surgeries that we had to do. So in a case like that, what I would typically do is board those animals they could either come pick up and bring them back to the next day, or I would board them overnight at no charge and do the surgeries the next day. But when the rescue group gets angry that their pets weren't spayed today because we said that we would do it, that's for me, that is like saying, are you joking? Are you joking? You're getting mad that we couldn't do it today. We're going to board overnight at no charge. I mean, think about it, guys. So for those of you, I'm finding that you are becoming, you're expecting the same full service that we provide for full service customers, and yet it's not happening. You're not going to get it, and you have to understand that in most facilities that are willing to work with you, with space and with rescue groups, that you have to understand that in order for us to continue to do that for you, we need to make sure that you understand that we have to take care, unless it's, of course, it's an emergency situation. I'm not talking an emergency situation. I'm talking about basic care because you have a schedule, or you promised this pet to somebody, and of course it has to go out spayed or neutered, so it's going to ruin your plan. Well, big deal. Because if you want to get what's happening is by having that feeling that we, meaning the general practice veterinarian willing to work with a rescue group, owe this to you because you send us clients, because you recommend us. Yeah, that's great. We love that. Thank you very much. But you have to understand that we can't bend over backwards when we have full paying customers that come in, make regular appointments, and we have to handle them first. And so if you are out there, understand you got to put the shoe on the other foot. If you want to continue to get that service from the veterinarians that you work with, you have to understand that those veterinarians have an obligation, first and foremost, to their clients that are paying full service care, and they have to take precedent, because if they don't, then they will not have the budget to be able to provide the much discounted care for you guys. Now, if you are working with a veterinarian that is not giving you any breaks, that charges you for everything full price, and you are willing to do that because no one else around is willing to give you the breaks and give you the discounts, then by all means, then yes, then you deserve the same. Now you're a full paying client, even though it's for a rescue group. And then you do deserve the same the same type of service that you're going to get otherwise. But I just, I figured that there are, it just got to me because I can't imagine that I have to sit there and explain myself to some of these rescue groups that are demanding care. And yet they want all the favors. They want to drop off really early. They want to pick up super late at night. They have an adoption today, so they just want to come in the morning, pick up, and then they're mad that the dog wasn't cleaned yet. Well, guys, you came at 6 a.m. to pick up. Our crew is just getting in at 6 to do the cleaning and the overnight and changing their cages and taking the dogs for walks. So you chill a little bit. Make sure that you understand that we have businesses to run. And it's very important that you give a little bit as well. And having said that, I just fired a rescue group this week because of it just blew my mind. And I don't want to go into the details of the story, but mind you, it was like, are you joking? You're getting angry about something as picky as that? And you're with all the things that we've done for you and do for you and bend over backwards for you. Guess what? You don't appreciate us, then you can go someplace else. And that's what's going to happen to you for any groups out there working with shelters. That is going to happen, and it's already happening. I know a number of my colleagues, one of my former associates who started his own practice. We're still friendly. We play ball on Tuesday nights together. We talk. They're doing much less rescue work than they used to because of that. So if you're in the rescue world, give us a break. Understand where we're coming from. We're doing our best to help. And sometimes that you just have to understand you can't always get the best, and we do the best we can. So as long as it's a two-way street, and we both we both know where we're coming from, and you are okay with having a surgery, changed schedule, put off for a day, a cancellation, something, then we're going to be in great shape. We're going to work together and have a wonderful relationship, which fortunately the rescue groups that I've narrowed down to pretty much, except for the one I just let go, have achieved that status, that relationship. And it's a wonderful one to have. And it makes us feel great. And when people come in and say we were referred by so-and-so, you know that it's working well, and it's a great feeling. So anyway, with that, if you want to counterpoint this one, you know how to get a hold of me. It is Dr. Jeff at PetLifeRadio.com. It is joining us here next Sunday, on our show live. And if you want to give me a different perspective, I would love to chat about it. So just this is a great forum to do so here on Pet Life Radio. So it was great speaking with you. Hope you, if you have any questions, please, you can send them anytime to Dr. Jeff at Pet Life Radio. You can also follow me on Instagram and send me notes and chats on Instagram. I do check it daily, and we can converse that way as well. And other than that, have a great week, everybody. Avoid bunnies from in Las Vegas, wild rabbits. Avoid certain foods that might have pentobarbital. Those are canned foods by the Smucker's brands and Ebinger's until they do some more testing. And hope you have a great week. We'll see you then. And remember, we wish everybody a happy birthday to Mark Winter, our producer, yesterday. You can wish him today, a day belated. He'll love it anyway. All right, have a great week, everybody. See you then.